Welcome everyone to the first edition of the Jader and Kyle show featuring Kyle and Jader. That's us. I am Kyle. I will be your co-host for this show, and here's my co-host, my other co-host, Jader. What's up,
What
man?
up, everybody? How's it going, man? Nothing much. Seriously overwhelmed with the whole Schmoedown thing, which we will obviously get to right
Yeah,
now.
of
But
course.
just first and foremost, wanted to thank everybody that has reached out. It has been overwhelmingly positive. I obviously filmed this a month ago, and I even with you guys, I kept it quiet. I didn't want to tell anybody any outcome. I wanted to be a surprise for
Right.
everybody. Um, and I was really beating myself up. And again, we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, man, happy to do the show right now.
I mean, we recorded a show last week going over all the streaming stuff, and we had such good chemistry back and forth. We've been good friends for a little while now.
Yeah,
And we had such good chemistry going back and forth that we decided, like, hey, we're all stuck in our homes. We're not doing anything. Why don't we start a
let's do
show?
it.
Let's do
Let's do
something.
it.
We have a lot to talk about. We all love movies. We love television. And we love the Schmoedown. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about here. So we said, let's go make a show and come up with a great title, which we did. It's called the Jader and Kyle Show. It's never been taken before.
It's never been done. I think
Can
this
you
is the
believe
first
that?
time.
The Kyle and Jader show was taken, but the Jader and Kyle show was not. So
Yeah, I know. So whatever, it worked out. Yeah.
But let's get to the biggest news of today, and that was how Jader just mentioned his Schmoedown match. It dropped today. This was his first match ever. Let's go back to when we went to the Orlando live show for the Schmoedown. For people who don't know, the Schmoedown is a movie trivia competition where two people go up there, or four people if it's teams. They go up there and they go head-to-head in a trivia competition where it's kind of like the personalities of professional wrestling meet actual trivia, actual intelligence about movies. And people go head to head. It's a ton of fun. It's been going on for about 7 years now. It's great. I've become a big fan of it. I know a lot of people are. But Jader got to win a competition in Orlando, which allowed him to get his own match this year on the Schmoedown. And it just dropped today on the SEN YouTube page. So go check it out. But Jader, do you want to talk about how it went, how you feel? Well, tell me this. How are you feeling right now, knowing that all
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. It's finally been seen. Like I said, I was beating myself up. Day of, even the day after, and for a while now, I'm like, wow, these people are gonna see this episode and they're gonna think like this guy got lucky one time and he got lucky now. You know, I don't think that people saw I haven't shown like what I can really do, because again, we'll get into it right now, but I kind of did struggle a little bit, during which, well, again, I have said this like 4 times already. We will get to. I'll let you ask the questions.
We'll go in on it.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, it's again, I don't know if people that are on YouTube, whatever, feel this way, where they feel like, damn, like what are people gonna think about this? Or, I'm getting into my head, and then I saw the live stream as it was happening, and it was overwhelmingly positive.
Right.
Like I said earlier, and it felt good. I honestly thought that I was gonna get a lot more shit. Because I've seen.
It just goes to show that we get in our heads a lot, and we like to think things are a lot worse than they actually are. And
but
I've
seen some fans get vicious, man. Like,
of course,
I've seen them just call out some of the players, or like, oh, you're lucky I wasn't against you because I beat you, or so on and so forth. So hearing shit like that sucks.
It does. But here's the thing that I've noticed with a lot of these Schmoedown competitors, they get into their heads where they go and read the comments, and it brings them down a lot. It does, because there's a lot of those dingbats out there who will say whatever they want to say and just try to bring you down. And you can't focus on that, because that's probably about 5% of the comments. If you look at the rest of it, it's so overwhelmingly positive. The number one thing I saw out of all the comments was how much fun this was, that people had a great time watching it, and that's what you want. You want to be someone who looks at who people want to go see. So when these live events happen and all this, then you're a draw to them. So I think you
And
accomplished that.
to piggyback off that, it was a blast. And a little joke there, but they say you never forget your first, and I'm so glad that I had Brittany Young as the first person that I faced, because her energy was exactly what I needed um in that particular. I was nervous as hell. She had done one episode prior as a team group, and just I was super nervous. It was the first time. They always tell you about the lights. The lights are real. Even though, funny enough, the reason why I won this was because I won in front of like 500 freaking people. But I got more nervous with the studio crowd, like the real deal. This counts. And her energy and her back and forth and her joking. If you notice, she'll be like saying a joke, and I'm like, like because I'm nervous.
Yes.
But even pre-recording the show, she approached me. She introduced herself. We kind of went back and forth. Where you from? What do you do? And obviously, I know what she did, but she was asking me more questions. And she was just so great, and I loved seeing how, again, humble she was, and how she was like, "Hey, I'm just as nervous as you are. Like, I don't know what to expect.
Right.
And she was just such a great sport. So that's one thing that I will never forget. Obviously, this is just an experience that I will never forget. But I'm really glad that it was somebody like her that I did the first episode with. It was fantastic.
And the thing is, it's not just we're happy to be here, which you guys were happy to be here, but it's not like we're happy to be here and that's it. We're not going to do it again, because you are going to do this again. You won your match. So people know you won your match. It was close. Brittany's very good. And now you're going to get to move on and do another match, but we'll get into that at the end. How was the day walking in there, seeing all the people there? How did that feel leading up to the moment where you walked out that curtain?
All right. So exactly what was going on was let's start. Just like you mentioned that you were a fan. This is season 7. Yeah. So 7 years of this. I didn't discover the Schmoedown until season 3.
Okay.
And it was when they brought it over to Collider. I remember Christian Harloff. Shout out to Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis. I remember Christian Harloff talking, hyping it up, and I had no idea what it is. And back then I could have just Googled, or YouTube, movie trivia Schmoedown, and know exactly what found out what it was. But I waited. He just said movie trivia. I'm like, damn, that's awesome, dude. Mm-hmm. Saw the first episode. I'll never forget. It was John Campia versus Dan Murrell. And seeing that episode and just loving it. And every week they were dropping something, and I was on there. So obviously, being a fan from Collider, walking into Collider's studio was a big deal for me. Right. Despite all the BS that went down in January, that was pretty huge. I was like, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. And I walked in there. The first person that I actually saw was Megan. She's behind the scenes, the boss of everything.
Right. We met her in Orlando too.
Exactly. She's fantastic. I love her.
Yes.
So Megan was there. She greeted me, and then after that, I saw Mark Ellis. I saw Christian. Christian, obviously came up to me and was like, "Hey, are you nervous? It's your big day. Are you excited? How are you feeling?" I got to talk to Shannon. Shannon was there. Mike and them had their big match that day. Mike Chance.
It was the family versus corruption match that day, right?
Exactly. And they were there. So I kind of left them alone because, obviously I knew that they had a live match. So, I left them alone. But everybody, Viviani was there. He said hello. So it was over. Like, it's crazy to, again, for us, there's people that probably would see this and they're like, oh, whatever. It's, it is what it is. Yeah. But for, someone that's, again, trying to be in this world, and what I mean by that, like film critics, talk film, podcasting, what have you, what we do here, seeing these guys, I'm like, man, this is crazy to call them now like peers,
Right.
But every single one of them have been nothing but nice. I can't say anything about anyone. Everybody was just genuinely great, So walking in there, nervous as hell, but being very grateful for the opportunity that's been presented. and not taking it for granted whatsoever. So I soak in that moment. I promise you, I will probably soak it in every single time that I'm on that stage.
Absolutely.
You know?
My thing is that what your manager was is Sam Levine, and Sam
Yeah,
Levine couldn't be there that day, so
yeah.
you had Andrew Guy, and Andrew Guy is one of my favorite people to watch in a Schmoedown. It's him and
Oh,
Josh McCouga, and the reason why I love those two so much is it's not like they're the best at the trivia, although Andrew Guy is getting really good.
yeah, it
They
is.
are so entertaining to watch, and that to me is more of a draw than the trivia itself. I want to see these characters. I want to see these big personalities. And Andrew Guy ended up being your manager. He was the guy who was going to walk you out there, who was going to hype you up, and he certainly did. In a way, those interviews at the beginning, he really got you going, and then at the end, the post game interview was so much fun to watch, where
Oh
he
yeah.
had it's against someone, which we'll get to on that. But how did it feel talking to Andrew Guy before your match? Because I know he was coming off a tough loss, and then moving into the actual match itself. What did he say to you? What was he trying to pump into your head?
Oh, no. So two confessions that I will give right now. One was I obviously after being a fan, it was just nonstop. Life catches up to you, and I fell off of the Schmoedown. So I had no idea who these personalities were for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Orlando event, I tried to catch up to that season. And then this is where confession number two comes into play was I didn't understand this whole character thing that plays off in the movie Trivia Showdown, right? So I thought that Andrew Guy was really a dick. I didn't know that he was portraying a character. So I was like, who the fuck is this guy, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, who does he think he is? This and that and that. And as I started watching it, I'm like, I get it. I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. Because again, when I started watching it, the whole face and heel and things that wasn't really a thing. It was, there was no really character writing that started happening later.
You had your Roca, which Roca kind of is the first.
Yeah, he kind of, yeah, which I was a big fan of the whole
Yeah.
Outlaw thing. I'm still a fan of the Outlaw, like,
Sure.
yeah, Roca was one of the main reasons why I honestly started really following this thing was
Mm-hmm.
because ever since that Bespin thing happened to him, right? And I know that keeps getting thrown and thrown, and a lot of viewers, our viewers, probably don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But just quick little background: this guy, John Roca, he works for he worked for Collider, and he did the podcasting and movie interviews and all that stuff. Big Star Wars fan, gets asked a Star Wars question and he misses it, loses the match, right? When that happened to him, because again, as much as I love Star Wars, there's no way I can compete in a Star Wars league because I am not good with remembering names of cities and planets and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
But I knew Bespin because it's freaking it's Empire, man. So I knew that, and him missing that for me was crazy.
Right.
But seeing him come back from that, seeing him like really determined and really out, it's kind of like inspirational the way he came back. He whooped everybody, and I don't know if he won I think he won the belt, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that was the run for the belt for him right after that.
So no, so he went in the tournament that year, if I recall. He went in the tournament that year and lost at the end to Mark Ellis. And Mark Ellis.
Oh, that's right. Mark Ellis did win. That's right. You're absolutely right.
And then Roca beat Riley at that same thing, and then Roca Roca went on to go play Dan, and that's when he got his belt.
Yeah. So he does that. This whole character of the Outlaw comes out, man. Him doing the blindfold thing, which let me tell you, if I would have put the blindfold, I probably would have done a lot better in the second round. But honestly, it was just so great seeing that. And then at first, I would just honestly, I guess we're doing confession number 3. I would just skip to the trivia part. I wouldn't see any of the character thing. Give me the trivia, and then as soon as the trivia was over, they would announce the winner. I would turn it off, and that was that. But then I want to say around season 5 or 6, one of the later seasons, I started, because I didn't know what Guy with Bateman. Yeah, I didn't know what team action was. I didn't know what any of that was, and I started going back, and I'm like, man, this is really awesome. I'm like, I really like what they're doing here. and the rest is history. So seeing all these personalities. Now going back to your question, seeing Guy kind of flip that switch from being a player to managing me, because we did get the notice from Sam Levine. A lot of people are giving Sam crap online because he hasn't been on any other matches. He's a very busy guy, and he did give us the heads up that he wouldn't be. Now, people should know. These episodes are recorded 6-7 at a time. So when he doesn't show up, he's like, oh, he hasn't shown up. That's 2 days of shoots. It's not really like he's missed 4 rounds or four different days. No, it's been 2 days of shoots that he couldn't make it. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing Guy take me under his wing, and just the way he handled everything, the pep talk that I got prior to the match was that, you weren't given this opportunity. Like, here you go, sir, do your best. It was like, no, you competed, you won, you're here, you deserve to be here, and it is what it is. You take this and then you go for it. And then he kept telling me, he goes, you're better than her, you're better than her, you're gonna beat her. Like, he the whole time, it was just hype.
And that's what someone like you needs, who's brand new into this. Like you said, you mentioned the lights. Those are real. Those affect people. It gets to everyone at some point. Even if you don't get it in your first match, you're going to get it at some point. And you need that calming presence there. And that's what Guy did for you. You could see it reflected very well. I don't know how other managers would have done. I mean, I'm sure Sam could have done it too. But what Guy was able to do, I feel like, was just the right timing, the right moment for you. And I don't want you to get down about your first match. I know you feel like you could do better. Everyone feels like they can do better.
Yeah.
But your first round, your round 1, there's 8 questions for people who don't know. There's 8 questions, 8 different categories. You got 7 out of 8 right. And that one that you got wrong was a tough question because it's from a movie that people don't really like. Let's be honest.
Well, let me tell you, it's crazy when the lights hit you, all right? Because I knew that answer. I don't like the film all that much, but I am a Burton fan, right?
Okay.
And I heard White Queen, but it didn't even occur to me to challenge, because again, it was that you hear that it's wrong, and I'm already like, oh my God, I'm blowing this. That's immediately where my mind, and you can see it. Like, if you know me, how I am. I'm very, free spirited and whatnot. But when something gets to me, you will notice. You will see it in my face when something upsets me. I don't hide it. And if you rewatch the match, you automatically see me like, oh crap. So automatically in my head, even though she thankfully got the answer wrong as well, for me, it was like, oh my God, I'm not getting a perfect round. Oh my God, I'm blowing it. Like, that's literally where my mind went, where I couldn't even challenge. Now, thank God I didn't challenge, because I think if I had challenged, I would have looked even dumber.
You lost it, yeah.
And I would have lost the challenge. But I knew that answer. There's 2, and we'll get to them. There's 2 answers that I honestly knew, and I blanked out.
And you know what? And that's going to happen. That's going to be a thing that happens. Everyone's gone through it. Let's get to your round 2. Round 2, for people who don't know, there's a wheel that comes out, 12 different categories. One is spinner's choice, one's opponent's choice. You spin the wheel, whatever you land on, you can either choose to keep it or you could spin again. And if you spin again, whatever you land on is what you get. Jader deferred to Brittany right away, and she got Oscars. And Oscars, I thought the questions on it were pretty. I knew 3 out of 4 of them off the top of my head. And to me,
David Lynch was the only one you didn't know?
No, I did know the David Lynch one. I forget. I know the Michael Moore one because I just process of elimination. Anytime they ask an Oscars question that has to do with documentary, you think about the writers. There's no way they're really diving deep into documentary. And who's the most?
No, actually, there was a lot of people I saw in the chat kind of saying, like, is that even a fair question? Because when are they asking? But it was released in the theater, which I happened to see Michael Moore film. I actually saw Bowling for Columbine in the theater, as well as Fahrenheit 9/11.
So, he's the most popular documentarian out there. And if you're going to get a question about a documentary, it's not a bad guess to throw out Michael Moore. So that's the first thing that came to my mind. But, the Spielberg question, I knew, and I don't remember the other 2. But
okay, so these were the questions because I memorized it. So The first question was Spielberg. I knew that off rip. I was praying that she didn't go to multiple choice because I knew it.
She would know it. Yeah.
She went. She got the point. It's fine. The second question was David Lynch. Now this was for me this is where you need to listen to every single word in that question, because I heard how many times has film won an Oscar? Now I'm nominated. So he has never won an Oscar, but I know he was nominated. I knew two, right. But I was thinking maybe because I know he was nominated for Mulholland Drive and the Elephant Man, right? Those are the two for sure. And then I would have done, but I would have said zero because I know he's never won an Oscar. But this is why you got to listen. And then after that was a Michael Moore question, which I managed to steal. And then the fourth question was the Pocahontas question, which I knew, which Colors of the Wind, which again, like I knew it was easy. So she got 3 points and I stole one because she.
Right. And
no, she didn't. She didn't. She got 1, 2, 3, 4. She got 4 points because Colors of the Wind she knew. Disney's her strength.
And so that was on the wheel. Just
that was on the wheel.
My head, you had categories like Disney. You had Drew Barrymore was on the wheel. You had your category, which ended up being crime film. So you spin the wheel, you land on crime. And you and Andrew are having a discussion, and he talks about it afterwards, how there was other categories you wanted to avoid. So this one you felt like, okay, maybe we can try it and walk in. So that's what you did.
No, Five Flights had Scarface and Goodfellas. And I mean, I was thinking maybe I was going to get Heat questions, The Departed question. I was thinking Casino, Mean Streets. I've seen so many like gangster, The Town, like all these movies where I'm like, I'm fine.
See, that's the thing is that category is one of the ones that's been around for a long time. It's been around for a very long time, though. And all the easy questions that come with brand new categories aren't there for this one anymore. So they're digging.
Understood. So this is what's going on with that. I kind of thought that's why I took kind of long to answer, because I'm like, all right, what happens if they start asking me shit that I don't know? However, I kept thinking, remember that they said that Everything Goes this season where they were going to bring old questions back. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, maybe I get lucky and they ask questions about more familiar films. Taxi Driver. Again, I love this. I love crime films.
Yeah.
So that's why it took me a long time to answer, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick with it. And guy's like, yeah, I think he's like, whatever you want. If you feel confident, he goes, you want to spin again? He goes, but remember, it could get worse. In retrospect, I don't think it could have gotten worse, to be completely honest with you.
Well, let's point out the biggest flub you had, which your first question was who directed A Bronx Tale? And you know this. I know you know that.
A film that I've seen 100 times.
Yeah. And this is where the lights come in.
Blanked. Yes. Mm-hmm. I blanked, and I didn't even blink because I thought I knew it. I thought I had it. And which I still can't say his freaking name. It's the Hispanic in me, I guess.
Hey.
But what's his last name, man? Because I'm gonna butcher it.
Parlamentari or something, like Chad.
Yeah, Chad. And I remember him because I love him, and I've seen A Bronx Tale 100 times.
Yeah,
which is what bothers me. If they would have asked me a specific question about the film, guaranteed I would have had it. You know, but
it messed you up because you started saying it and you couldn't get it out of your mouth, so you just said multiple choice.
Which a lot of people are saying that Kaiser should have challenged. He did. He tried to, at least. Kaiser did try to challenge. A little behind the scenes there. He did try to challenge, and my manager quickly said he did not say final answer. He's good to go. He can ask for multiple choice, and that's what happened. You know, but had he challenged, which I saw someone in the comments write this, if he had challenged, because they're like, oh, Brittany maybe could have won had that been challenged properly. Regardless, she stole that answer. So it was in their favor to them not to challenge.
Right.
You know, because they could have probably asked me something that I did freaking know.
So I mean, it's tough because I know you definitely know it. And it's not like Robert De Niro's directed a lot of films, and that's probably his most famous one. But so you missed that one. But she gets the steal, the 1 point steal. And then what were the questions after that? Which was the ones that stumped you the most?
Okay, so right after that, they asked me. So I knew two of the questions. Unfortunately, Bronx Tale was one that I knew and I didn't answer. Then
Okay.
the second question was who played Carter in Get Carter in 1970 something.
Yeah, it was like
Um,
79. Yes. And that was
1979,
your
which was
Michael
Michael
Caine
Caine.
question.
No idea. I've seen the Sylvester Stallone version. I think came out in 1997. Seen that version. So missed that question. I missed that question because I honestly did not know that I did not know that I'm sorry, that question, right?
Mhm.
Then the third question was who directed Bad Times at El Royale, which me and you obviously
Love that
love that
film.
film. So I answered that off rip because I love it.
Mhm.
The last question was which character in a 1990s heist film was trapped in a refrigerator or in a freezer or something like that.
Tough question.
You,
Extremely tough question. Which I've noticed.
extremely tough question.
What I've noticed with the Schmoedown this season, the fourth question is usually the easiest one, and that didn't happen for you on this category at all.
It
Which is
did not,
weird.
man. It did not. I really, really had no idea. Um, Even I said that presidents knowing, and and this is another thing that I should have done. I've seen that presidents 100 times, and I've seen set it off 100 times,
Mm-hmm.
and I went multiple choice, but I'm like that president, and then I'm like maybe something that I'm forgetting because I haven't seen it. I haven't revisited that film in a long time.
Yeah.
Seen it a bunch, but and I'm like I know for sure it wasn't set it off for 100%. Um, and then the other two answered because I went multiple choice for the point, and it was this movie called Bottle Rocket and the Gifter or something like
So
that.
Bottle Rocket is Wes Anderson. That's a Wes Anderson film. I believe that was his first film ever, and that was the answer, right?
That was the answer.
Yeah,
Which
yeah. I listen. No, and if
I
you're one
didn't know.
fan,
I
I'm sure
honestly
you
I don't
know.
think a lot of people didn't know that question. I had
Yeah.
a friend actually that watches the show. Well, I met him in Orlando,
Okay.
and we became good friends online. And he told me, he goes, funny enough, I saw Bottle Rocket last night, and I still got the question wrong. He goes, because the character he's such a small character, like it's something completely forgettable. He's
Yeah.
like, that was a hard question. So that one I absolutely did not know. I didn't miss that. Like again, there was two that I knew and two that I absolutely did not know. I didn't know Michael Caine.
You
I'm
didn't know
obviously
Bottle
gonna
Rocket.
revisit, and I didn't know Bottle Rocket. I
Well,
did know obviously Drew Goddard, and I knew De Niro, and I'm pissed off that I completely missed De Niro.
and here's the thing, they like to balance out. There's usually one very easy question. There's usually two medium questions and one very difficult one. And you could see with that, like I said, they would make the last question the easiest one usually. Look at Britney. She got which movie won with the song Colors of the Wind. Everyone knows that. It's
Yeah,
honest. We all understand that if you're a Disney fan, of course, if you're just a kid who's watched Disney movies growing up, you would know that one.
yeah.
You go into round three, you're down 10-11, and I could see it on your face. You were like, damn, this is it for me. I'm
Everybody
yeah.
saw my face that
Mhm.
has seen the match, and they're like, "Dude, you were already counting yourself out."
Yep.
When you were picking the numbers. They're like, the only time I saw you nervous was picking those numbers. And they're
Yep.
like, you came out there, you were, hyping the crowd up. They're like, you did great crowd work. Everybody gave me props for that. They're like, you did really good crowd work. You handled the crowd really well.
In the first round, you had a Meryl Streep question. It's the second question. You got the crowd to chant. That's great. It's a great
Yeah.
little back and forth you did with the crowd there. But yeah, going to the third round, down 10-11, I could see you saying to yourself, man, I blew my chance, and now I'm not going to get to come back. You're thinking of
That,
everything that's going to come after when you
that's
still have
exactly
another
that's
round to go.
exactly what happened, to be completely honest with you. When I'm picking those numbers, I'm like, I can't believe I blew this opportunity. I understand if I wasn't confident enough to compete, but I
Mhm.
was. You saw me in Orlando after I won, where I
Mhm.
was answering the questions nonstop.
Yeah.
And it's
You
one
could
of those
see it
things
in
where,
round one, man. You could see it in
huh?
round one. You could see it in round one. You got 7 of 8 questions right. You belong there. Obviously belong there because those questions they're the same as you're going to get what you did in Orlando. Was the
Yeah,
round one questions, and you were firing them off pretty easily. So I mean, you knew the one you said you missed in round one, so you could have
yeah,
got 8 out of 8. You could have gotten that perfect round.
that perfect
You
round.
definitely belong there, and that's what you got to realize is in that third round, you were probably thinking, man, I don't belong, but you do, because then you got 2 questions right off the top, your 2-pointer and your 3-pointer, which got you to 15 points. And that must have given you a sigh of relief right there.
All right. So this is what happens when she picks her numbers. I pick my numbers. I'm already like thinking the 5-point question is what's gonna make or break me. Honestly, I thought I was gonna have to answer the 5-point to win, and if you follow the sport or whatever you want to call it, you don't want to be down going into the third round. I think it is too. So, but you don't want to be down going into the third round at all. I was down by 1, but I didn't want to be down. And so that happens, and they I forget what the first question that they asked me was. My 2-point question was super easy. It was new releases, which when I heard that was the biggest sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Given what we do. And it was what MCU stars with Adam Driver in Marriage Story. That was cake, cake. That was
got out of Oscar season. We knew this.
Exactly. So thank God that it was that question. She even joked about it, and she was like, "Can I have that same question?" Like, it's super easy. And then she got asked, Coño, man, I don't remember what the hell she got asked in the third round, to be honest with you.
Well, she got her 2-pointer, which
I know she got her 2-pointer, but I forgot which one it was. And then it bounces back to me, and they asked me, it was family films, and again, I have kids, and they asked me who was the firefly that was in love with the sun in The Princess and the Frog. Now,
what was the animal? It was
animal. Yeah. Sorry, that was the firefly was the answer.
Right.
But shout out to Janine the Machine, because she threw that question at me, and I knew it, but I hadn't seen that movie in a while.
Right.
And that she was throwing questions at me left and right. That's how we were training. Randomly during, I get a text from her, and it's like 15 questions, and I would have to answer them. It's been great. Like the support from the usual suspects, despite what people, see on screen versus what they don't see, has been ridiculously awesome.
Well, just by talking to you, you tell me all the things that they do. You have Janine always there helping you out. You have another person, which I don't know if they're comfortable saying, but you have someone out there who is helping you out a lot, who's actually really lucked out being a good coach for you.
She's been amazing. They've been amazing.
They're staying on top of you, and they're making sure that you're ready for this. So that's why coming into this, I knew you were going to be ready for this. And in this moment, you got your 3-pointer. You were ready. You got the what's the Princess of the Fog question, and then she gets her 3-pointer. Which, do you remember what her 3-pointer was?
Absolutely.
Because I knew, but I don't.
All right, so they asked her who co-starred with Chris Pines in Hell or High Water, which was one of my favorite films that year. And I even right now we're doing, obviously, on our website, we're doing a March Madness, and tell me I didn't throw his name.
Oh, you absolutely did. Ben Foster.
He's such an underrated actor.
Yes.
I want him to have every job in the world, to be honest with you. Because every time I see that man on screen, I already know that I'm in for a ride, man. He's such a fantastic actor. Even in movies that I don't necessarily not love, but The Mechanic. Okay. I loved him in that movie, and he made that movie fun for me. As much as I appreciate Jason Statham, I think his movies are full of crap, but I like them. They're entertaining films. But my favorite part of that movie was Ben Foster. Alpha Dog, you see Ben Foster. Lone Survivor, loved his character. 3:10 to Yuma, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And Hell or High Water. So when she had that question, I'm like, I wish I could steal, because again, I knew that. She looked at me and she goes, "You know this?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah."
Yeah, man. And I said to you, because her category was crime, and I texted you after when I was watching it, and I said, "Man, if only you got that
Where
question."
was that question? I
Yeah,
said the same thing. I'm like, where the hell were the Godfather questions and the Goodfella questions? And where were they? Where were they? But
I
she
would.
got crime, and she got was it thriller? She got a thriller question, if I'm not mistaken.
I see. So, like, I would have put Bad Times at El Royale in the thriller category, and then the crime would have gone with Hell or High Water. That's easily what I would have done if I was the question writers. But regardless, she misses it. You win. It's got to be a huge sigh of relief off
No,
your
no,
back
no,
as I
no,
see
no, no.
Andrew Guy
Remember,
and Janine immediately come up.
she missed, and then she still had the 5 pointer to answer. And her 5 pointer was a comic book movie question. And it was like, what was the
Right.
name of the villain
Easy coach.
in Iron Man 3? But it was the character, the villain's name, not like the
Played
character
by Guy Pearce. It said Guy
played by
Pearce.
Guy Pearce. And that's another one where she looks at me and I'm like, God damn it, I know this, man. I know this.
She
And
got the
then
easy one.
and then she just, and it's crazy enough that both my matches that I've won, they both turned over to me and were like, "Hey man, good luck, good win,
Yeah,
or whatever,"
yeah.
And I was like, ah, and it happened.
Yeah, and Guy comes
And
running up to you, and Janine comes running up to you. They're all super happy for you, and that's you got to be feeling. Oh man, okay, I'm good. I got
weight off
through.
my shoulders, dude.
Mhm.
Again, and it was one of those things where it was weight off my shoulders. They interviewed Brittany Young after, and then they interviewed. But even while they were interviewing her, I was beating myself up. I'm like, I should have won by 20 or a TKO, and that was just me. And Guy was like, "You did better than I did when I debuted,"
Mhm.
and then they're like, "And you're not allowed to do this to yourself. You just won.
Yeah,
This is a point for you. You take this and you run with it." Someone behind the scenes tell me you can dwell on it for 2-3 hours, get over it, move on, next match.
and well,
You know,
and that's what's a shame is with this coronavirus that's put us all in our homes. You were supposed to be in the free for all, which is the best thing they have going on.
it's
At
my
this
favorite
point.
event,
Yeah,
and I was looking so forward. And it was literally 2 weeks after I had shot that. The free for all would have debuted before my actual match.
yeah.
You know, and I had a great number, which I don't want to say just in case it happens later on the year.
Mhm.
Um, but I had a fantastic number, one where I felt comfortable, where I'm like, maybe I can make something happen this free for all. Um,
And
and
well, listen, if that's where legends are made, that's where characters are made because you have like last year, Brendan Meyer. He lost his first match. People kind of forgot about him. Then he stepped into the free for all, and all of a sudden he's become one of the more
he was
popular judges.
honestly, had it not been Bibiani, he should have been. He was runner up for MVP because
Absolutely.
he did a hell of a job. And Myers, I've had the pleasure of talking to him a couple times already. He's just the character you see
There is
is
no
who
character.
he is. There is
Yeah,
no
yeah.
character. That's just who he is. He's just a very nice guy, but so knowledgeable
Mm-hmm.
because he remembers matches, he remembers questions like, oh no, this person lost to this question, and I remember when this person lost to this question, like things where he's just like nonstop.
Right.
And he's stand-up guy, man. He's super nice. The last time I got to talk to him was when I got drafted in January. He wasn't there for the shoots or anything like that, but
But
yeah,
well, here's
and it's crazy because I again had to go back. I didn't see Free for All when it
Mhm.
happened last year. So I went back and I started watching every single excuse me, every single episode. And he impressed the hell out of me. He
Yeah.
was fantastic. So that's something that, not saying that I was going to follow in his footsteps or anything like that, but I wanted the free for all to really show like, hey, I'm here to
I
stay.
belong. Yeah, yeah.
I belong here. Exactly.
But yeah, so this kind of slowed it down. But you do have a match lined up on the schedule. You did have someone come and crash. I'm not going to reveal who it is because people probably don't even really know who are watching this. They're newer. But you do have something coming up. You aren't done. The win helps a lot because this year, Christian's pointed out, there's a lot of competitors. So if you lose and you're not a big personality, you're probably not going to come back for at least a year. It's going to take a bit. So now you have that win under your belt. You're definitely guaranteed to come back. And once this all goes away, I'm happy to see where you go, man.
I'm excited, man. I mean, this thing couldn't have come in a worse time, I think. Like everything I had, not to say anything, but I kind of had, besides the free for all, 2 matches lined up, where I was talking to Christian and he's like, hey, this is going to happen. And then this is probably going to happen. Again, nothing's ever concrete. That's one thing that I have learned, that things one day are going this way and then the next day they go a completely different way. But it's I had we're good. Sorry, but
yeah, we're good.
But yeah, I was. It's kind of heartbreaking, to be honest with you, that this is happening all now, where we can't travel, we can't do anything, But once this is all over, because obviously, this is gonna blow over, and hopefully our lives get back to normal. I can't wait to get back in, and I'm gonna call it the ring, I'm super stoked,
So what you need to do right now is start making the rounds. You got to start promoting yourself, putting yourself out there, make yourself a demand that people want to see you. When you go on these shows, do your interviews, you just go out there, be yourself, have fun, and you're going to get invited back. You're going to get invited back. It's going to be a fun year, and I can't wait to see where it takes you, man. So any last words on the Schmoedown?
Nothing, man. I'm just glad. I mean, whoever's watching this, if you guys, you shared it on the. Oh no, Gilberto showed it. Gilly shared it on the page. I know you shared it on yours. Click like, subscribe, please. Comment, say that you want to see me again. CST Network, I need you now more than ever. Just let's bombard them with the hurricane. I just need people. I need comments saying to see the hurricane all over again. And shout out to the whole Schmoedown family, to be honest with you, man. They just, every single one of them has been nothing but great. They've been very welcoming. I've heard, that sometimes it also depends on the attitude, which, I got coached on that. Don't be a dick and you get treated right.
Yes.
I'm not that person, pretty much I get along with pretty much everybody. Right. And to the actual Schmoedown fans, man, like it's been so positive, thank you. There's not much more to say but thanks, man.
So what we also want to do on this show is we'll cover the Schmoedown basically every week, just talking a little bit about the matches that are going on. So I hope you guys who come and tune in and watch us get on board with the Schmoedown. Come have fun with it, because it's definitely something. If you're a movie fan, it's definitely something you need to check out if you haven't discovered it yet.
Even a wrestling fan, if you're a wrestling fan, we're not throwing we're not throwing each other on tables, which has happened. Somebody got hit with a chair, but Booker T's a supporter of this. I don't know if you saw Chris Jericho and Kevin Smith are going to be on it once this whole BS is over.
Brittany Young.
Brittany Young, and then they've been tagging John Krasinski a lot with the Good News Now, man.
I'm interested to see what happens Sunday when that episode drops.
It's been a movement, man. And then I just saw shout out to Haskell, Eddie Haskell. He's a big Schmoedown supporter. He already put my match on his page.
Hey.
Yeah, it's been so great. The community, the Schmoedown community, let me tell you, man, it's amazing. It's amazing that the support that they give to the Schmoedown is fantastic,
So something else we want to do on this show every week is we're stay kind of current. We want to talk about what's going on in the industry. For those of you who don't know, we work in the industry. We are part of the press of the industry. We both write for Cinesportstalk.com. We do celebrity interviews. We do movie reviews. We go to press screenings. We do all these stuff. We're in Florida. We're one of the websites that's constantly out there working. So we also want to keep up to date what's going on. And right now, the Justice League is crumbling, and Ezra Miller and Amber Heard are just straight up crazy right now. So let's talk about this. I know more about the Ezra Miller situation. I really don't know much about Amber Heard because I heard this is like a really legal thing going on. So let's start with Ezra. Ezra Miller, a couple days ago, he was trending on Twitter. You go find out what it's about. There's a video out there about 15 seconds where he says, "Do you want to fight?" And he grabs this woman by the throat and basically slams her onto the ground. And It's not a good look at all. It's very bad for someone of his character. He's typically looked at as a free spirit, fun loving guy. So to see this, it was kind of like almost his character in Perks of Being a Wallflower when he
Yeah.
gets set off. It was disturbing. It really was because I am a fan of his. I think he's a very talented actor, and to see him choke slam someone, it's like, what are you doing, man? And I guess it was in Iceland or Greenland. You don't do that to fans. You don't. You're a big personality, and when stuff like this happens, especially to a woman, with all this stuff coming out with the Me Too movement, and actually, you shouldn't do it to anyone. It's not a good look. And there's been silence. There's no one talking about this as far as Warner Brothers go or Ezra Miller goes. So I'm curious your opinions on this. What do you think's going on here? What was your take from it?
All right, so check this out. Obviously, we don't really know. It's a 7-second video. All right. Now,
Yeah.
I agree with you 1,000% on everything you just said. It's not a good look whatsoever. Um, he's a movie star. He should know that he's being watched 24/7. That is like the gift and the curse, I guess. The curse part of being a movie star is that it's very rare when you have a private moment in public, which it's not rare. It's just rare. It doesn't happen. However, if you rewatch the video, she has a smile on her face. So at first I thought they were play fighting.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I saw it, I thought they were play fighting. You know, one of those grabs her, this and that, and he threw her down. But then I saw him trending, where I was like, oh, it wasn't a play fight. Was it a real thing? But even right before we recorded the show, I obviously knew we were going to talk about this. I rewatched the video, and it's you can't tell. It doesn't look good, no matter if it's play fighting or not, which I really doubt it is. I'm on that page where I don't think it's play fighting whatsoever.
Listen, if it is a joke, it's not funny. And I don't
Yeah.
see where the positive side in this is. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to spin this to where this is just, oh, a fun thing that we've been working on? It's not funny.
Precisely, like, because it again, like I've played fight with not often, but I do play fight with my girl where I'll grab her and like throw her onto the bed and things like that, and she'll do the same. She'll grab a pillow, this and that and that.
Mm-hmm.
However, that shot, those 7 seconds, it's all him. She's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But again, I want you to see it because when he grabs her, she's smiling. So I don't know if it's a shock that this is happening to me.
That's how I feel.
But it's not a good look. Regardless if it was play fight or not, I agree with you. It's not something you do, especially being it's not right for any man to lay hands on a woman. No. But especially if you're a celebrity, and especially now during the whole Me Too movement that's been going on, buddy, it's not a good look.
No. And so obviously we'll talk about what this means for his career right now, because every day that goes by that he doesn't say something, it gets worse because it's still in the news. Everything's paused right now, production wise. So That means Fantastic Beasts isn't filming. That means The Flash will not be filming. Both franchises, which he is a star of. And I don't know if you saw this, but Jonathan Francis Daly, who was attached to be one of the directors for The Flash, it was him and Jonathan Goldstein who were the directors of Game Night. And they were attached to direct The Flash, one of 7 directors who have been attached to do it. And he just puts out on Twitter creative differences. And it was the spin.
And that was right after, dude. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, he's out.
That was the spin. I heard that. Well, there's rumors going around that he's not exactly the easiest person to get along with in all of this. And now you have Andy Muschietti, who I actually got to interview once before.
So jealous. I was supposed to be there too. So jealous.
He is directing The Flash as of right now, but at this moment, at this point, I don't know if you're even getting that movie. That movie was supposed to come out in 2017. Here we are in 2020. We still don't have it. There's scripts not ready yet. They haven't started filming. There's only 2 cast members. It's not going to happen.
I don't want to say that DC doesn't know what they're doing, because I think we spoke about this on an earlier show on CST where DC has been getting their shit together, and I have enjoyed the last couple DC films that have released. But I felt when they signed everybody on, they were confused on what that, because I heard at one point it was going to be Flashpoint, and I think Flashpoint A was too soon to do it, and the only reason why WB will start off with that is to undo, I guess, what they did prior.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can honestly think of to start a new timeline. Like, hey, because of Flashpoint, this doesn't exist. This is no longer canon. This is what's canon now. But I feel like that movie's cursed. It's just like New Mutants, which I mentioned on the same show that we did. But it's not a good look.
Yeah, and I agree with you. No, but I agree with you with the with DC. Let me say something about DC here. I've actually enjoyed the last 3 movies they put out. Even loving. I love Shazam. I think Shazam is a fantastic movie, and it's really a good dive into how a kid actually would act if they got superpowers and how they kind of deconstruct that.
That's why
it's great.
A lot of people don't like Shazam for that reason. They say that it's too childish, and I'm like, well, this is exactly how a kid would act. I would act like that if I was a kid and I got some awesome superpowers. I don't. Shout out to Tim though.
But also, then right after that, you got Joker, which, I mean, there's not much left to say about Joker that hasn't been said. It was nominated for an Oscar. It won Best Actor, it won Best Score. It was a critical darling. People loved it. It was an R-rated $1 billion hit. People loved it. And then,
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, that's one of your favorite films. You've mentioned that before. But this year, we got Birds of Prey, a movie I loved a lot. That movie is a ton of fun. I can't wait.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
So to me, they've gone 3 in a row. Didn't like Aquaman. Didn't like Justice League. Didn't like.
I know you didn't like Aquaman. I actually enjoyed Aquaman a lot. I know that, and you joked about it before because I saw it before you. And you were like, "Oh, what is it? Explosion? Like normal dialogue, and then 2 seconds explosion." I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much, man. That's pretty much what happens."
It's not. I don't like that movie.
But I know you didn't like it. I had fun with it, and you have to think like this is coming off of Justice League. Well, no, we came off of Wonder Woman, but even prior to that, it was Justice League, and then you had the Suicide Squad and BVS. So you kind of had a bad taste for DC films. So for me, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, they were it was fresh.
Yeah.
It was something to look forward to. And I know Aquaman is pretty split, but I also feel that it's more positive than negative.
I can see that, but now
I know there's some people that don't like it whatsoever. I know you didn't like it, but I feel like there's more positive towards Aquaman. Like if you put Aquaman versus BVS, you're probably going to get more votes for Aquaman. If you could put it against Suicide Squad, same thing's going to happen. If you could put it against Justice League. So it's better than certain films,
But I mean, let's jump right into it with Aquaman. One of the stars of Aquaman is Amber Heard, and she is in the news a lot. A lot's going on with her. I don't know much about this situation. I just know that she could be in big trouble. I know there's lying going on. I know you know a lot more about this. So if you want to kind of
I don't want to say a lot more. I'm not there, But basically what happened was that she made false accusations on Johnny Depp. I don't know how in depth the accusations go, but I know that basically was almost we didn't get Pirates because he was signed on to a new Pirates, and he lost that. He almost lost Fantastic Beast. Yeah, I forget who directs that movie. I've never seen. He's still doing it.
He's still doing it.
Jesus,
I know.
I don't know why I thought like he was gone already. But he almost lost his job to that. But it goes back to the whole Ezra thing with the whole Me Too thing. Now, what Amber Heard is facing right now is that apparently all her accusations are bullshit. And if it's proven that they are bullshit, that he never did what he did or what she said he did, she's facing prison time. She's already lost Aquaman too. They already canned her.
Oh, they did? That's a thing?
Apparently that's a thing. I read an article where she is not attached to Aquaman 2 as of right now. Okay? I don't know if you want to fact check me very quick, But
I believe you. It's just wow, I hadn't heard that.
no, yeah. However, it I like that this is happening. It sucks that she would lie about something like this, but every single person so far, like let's look at Dave Franco. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, James Franco. Sorry, I was thinking of the brother. James Franco. James Franco came out with the accusation that
He did some
sexually
bad
hurt.
stuff. He did some very bad stuff.
Yeah, and he was on the verge of possibly winning an Oscar, and I could have probably put money that he could have won. He came off of winning the Golden Globe for the Disaster Artist, where he went from winning a Golden Globe to not even getting nominated. Because
And he should have been nominated, but his performance was worthy. His actions were not.
again, yes. Now, my whole thing on this is there's certain, and again, it's a very thin line where it goes wrong from right, but that one maybe you know a lot more than I do where it comes to what he did. But if you're telling me that a woman was in the room, accepted being alone in a room with him. Now I don't know if he threw himself on her or anything like that. But as I recall, I remember her saying like that she was tricked or whatever into coming into the room or something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't buy that 100%. Okay. And
Right.
I don't want to justify. I'm just saying, like, I've seen some pretty messed up situations or people or even and women think pretty evilly. And this is where I go with Amber Heard. Why did she make up this shit? That isn't true.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, it sucks that it was her, but she should suffer she should suffer the repercussions, of her actions. You reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen stories where women accuse guys of rape, they serve time, and then years later they come out and say, hey, he never did that.
It's a serious thing. It's a really something
It
you shouldn't be
sucks.
messing with. Yeah.
It
It's
sucks. And obviously, if you hear this guy took advantage of me 9 out of 10 times, I love this is what I love about our judicial systems with the whole proven into guilty into proven innocent. But
mhm.
9 out of 10 times, you're gonna look at that person and you're gonna be like, oh, it's a guy, he did it.
Yeah.
You're gonna
It's just the way the
prejudge.
world is. It really is just the way the world works right now.
It
Um,
does, and I get it, and I don't say there's slime balls out there. I've seen it here, out at places. Like I remember, I don't even want to bring the story up, but with my ex, like I left her for a second, and someone slipped something in her drink, to the point where she was knocked out cold in my car.
yeah.
It's insane. Like and I'm not saying it happens. It happens everywhere. Unfortunately, there's a lot of evil out there, and there's a lot of people that are just sick in the head. There's a lot of and there's no boundaries crossed or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, and it just sucks that I'm not saying Franco's innocent, but I feel like there's more to that story
You mean
than
that? You mean that?
no, Franco. I'm talking about Franco and
Oh,
Depp,
right. So,
because
so like with me, I'm not gonna completely point fingers at either one of them, Amber Heard or Johnny Depp, because I just don't know. We don't know what is actually true, and there's a
that's
lot
what
of
I said. I'm like, I wasn't there. I don't know.
yeah. We don't know what's going on. It just seems like they had a very toxic relationship, and that is now bleeding into the public. And one of them is going to suffer for it, if not both of them. And it sucks. It really does that it had to come to this, but that's just where we are. As far as Aquaman 2 goes, like you said, she's gone. Her part is either going to have to be recast or they're just going to get rid of the character altogether. I don't know where it's going to go from here. But do you have any final thoughts on this situation?
Just cut the shit, man. Honestly, we heard about the accusations of Weinstein. So rot in prison. I don't care. Like if you did it, you suffer the consequences. But if you didn't do it, why are you gonna ruin a man's career? Because and in that, I bet she did. Yeah, I bet you never in a million years thought, or her, she never thought in a million years that she was going to that she would like eventually the truth was gonna come out, and now her career's screwed, and now she might face prison. Like,
Yeah.
you got to think about shit like that, you know?
It's two really successful people who didn't need to have to do this at all, and it sucks. So I don't get it. I don't understand why you guys went down this path. Clearly, you guys weren't right for each other, and now something's going to happen. But I'm going to forego our last conversation, which was going to be what we're talking about, what we've been watching. We'll do that next week. I got a surprise for you, Jader.
Okay, wait, time out.
Yeah.
Go. I want you to fan cast Mara right now, since we're not gonna get Amber Heard. Let's see if we're in on this right now. Let's see if we're in on this.
Okay. I know the rumor was going around, not the rumor, but the one people were pushing a lot was my celebrity crush, Emilia Clarke.
That's who I'm
keep
all
her
for,
away. Keep her away from Aquaman. Don't you touch that franchise, you beautiful woman. Go somewhere else. Go back to Star Wars, please, because you were great as Kira and you deserve more. I got one. Alison Brie. Alison Brie as Amber Heard. I think she's a great actress. I think she deserves a lot more opportunities than she's gotten, and I think she would fit right in well with Jason Momoa.
Who's the chick from shit that I should know? Hacksaw Ridge. Teresa Palmer.
Okay. That's a good choice. That's a good choice. Actually, I could see that a lot more.
And she has a Amber Heard kind of look. If you
you could trick the audience right there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. And she's a great actress, man. I think she can pull that off.
Dan just suggested the girl from Westworld, Evan Rachel Wood. He put Redwood. The girl from Westworld. She would actually work out good too. But here, I got a surprise. I got someone who wants to come and talk to you, who wants to say hi and congratulate you, and that is our boss, Mr. Steve Ferracci.
Oh, shit, big boss.
The pit boss? There he is. Hold on just a sec. Did it freeze? There he is.
Hey!
There he is.
What's up,
my
dude?
man Jader?
Yeah.
I saw it. Look, I wanted to come on real quick. You guys are doing a great show. Great job, as always. Want to come on real quick to congratulate you face to face, as close as we can get here. I saw you chug your last bit of whiskey. I wanted to, get a little cheers here going.
I'm gone, man. I'm gone, but,
I know you are, but
I got to sip.
For you.
Salud.
Listen, you made it is damn good beer.
Yeah.
Let's try and get it's Victory Golden Monkey.
Hopefully they start promoting us, right? We get sponsored by them.
9.5% right there, baby.
Yeah, Golden Monkey, good. I like that beer.
Love it. Yes. So, that's all. Really, only wanted to come on and say congratulations. I watched you on the big 65-inch TV. I couldn't just watch on a little screen here. With all that ugly Mets colors in the background, says Dan.
Get out.
Hey, Dan, look real close for just 1 second.
Is that your one for the day?
I didn't say it. You've had a few.
I would start doing this from now on.
No. There could be kids watching.
I know. I'm kidding. That was my ring finger.
You son of a bitch.
Steve has come in and pooped all over our show at the very first episode. Thank you so much.
I think I did pretty good. I think I dropped maybe one. Maybe. I'm not even sure.
Negative. I heard one earlier on. I don't remember when you used it, and you just used it when you were thinking about something. I saw you on the screen. You were like,
Yeah.
But I can't believe you're focusing. I know you, but you're focusing on I could have done better. Dan said a win is a win, which is true unless you're cheating like the Astros. Ground ball through Buckner's legs, 1986. They won. Hey, win is a win. Don't care how it happens. So just focus on that. This was the first time I ever watched a Schmoedown match.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad. You should never forget your first, huh?
You're my first, baby. But it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I heard a lot of it from Bert, who's watching. So maybe that's why I wasn't so enthused about watching it. But So
With the
this one,
cast.
of course, this is like, you don't watch something, you're not doing something, and then your little kid comes along and starts doing something, so you got to watch. So I had
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
of course, I had to watch, and I love the concept of it. It's the intertwining of movie trivia and wrestling, having the different characters, if you will. So it
Yeah.
takes me back in the day when I used to watch wrestling, and this guy's a heel, and this guy's this, and so that's all good stuff.
I
Very
know.
good
I
stuff,
figured
buddy.
you. I honestly figured you guys, you would, especially you, all of us on CST, since we're movie guys. Like we love film, and it's fun to challenge yourself. Do I know that? Do I not know that? You'd be surprised how many you could get right or how many you get wrong, and you actually can learn. There's some times where I'll find out that a director, like a famous director, directed something that I never in a million years, like the one oddball film that he did, which I love and had no idea he directed. So
Right.
but yeah, man, I'm glad you watched. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch again, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much, man. It's
And
it's
Steve's got
exciting
you
stuff,
got to
man.
watch again to see who you got
The
to
what?
see who the guy who was petting the fur on his shoulder
Oh,
was.
at the end, this
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
comes out of
yeah.
the crowd. He's like Brock Lesnar, and like, "Oh, see you next time."
Shout out to Greg, man. Craig, man, he's a really cool guy. He's actually a rookie as well, man. Very
Okay.
knowledgeable guy. Like he TKO'd his opponent. But I can't wait to face him, man. I know it's gonna be rough, but I'm ready, man.
Yeah. So Dan says you better be a face. Are you a face or a heel? It
I
seemed
don't
like
think
two.
I honestly don't even think that I could be a heel right now. Like this was the Willy Wonka, as much as fucking hate that movie, and that's my second. But
That's like four.
whatever, dude. I hate that Willy Wonka movie, but it really was a golden ticket winner, and I lucked out, and thank God that I did. But I can't. There's no way that I can come into this league as a lucky winner, fan contest winner, and be a heel. There's no way. So for me, at least the character not even the character. I'm just being me. But I'm just happy to be there.
At
Just
some
give me the
point,
opportunity.
in your Schmoedown career,
I have
later
ideas.
down the road, you gotta turn heel.
No, I have
That's
an idea. I have ideas already of a certain
Okay.
character. Eventually, we'll get there. Again, I don't write some of this stuff, so I have to pitch. If I pitch the idea and he likes it, we can go with it. But I do have a couple ideas already.
Jader,
so.
just do me a favor. Be careful, because I care about you. All right. You're getting a lot of love in the chat. I know you're getting a lot of love everywhere. Bert and Dan and James are all saying crushed it. They're all happy for you, congratulating. So it's a big day for you. And when we come back next week, we can talk about a little bit more what the reaction has been like, what your experience has been like going around to all these shows and talking about it. And your name's going to be out there now, so I hope you're ready.
I'm hoping, man. This is a lot of fun, dude. It honest, and again, like I said in the beginning of this episode, like it's crazy to become something that you were such a fan of. It's again, Steve, you said you saw wrestling, earlier. I think you saw it during the same time I did with the Attitude Era with Stone Cold and The Rock. That's
Yep.
literally when I stopped watching wrestling. Once they were out, I was kind of out as well. But can you imagine like them telling you, hey, you want to write for this show, or hey, do you want to be part of the WWF? Like it's surreal. And again, thanks, James. I see that comment there. That's awesome. Thank you. But this is something, and then I always told myself that I eventually wanted to be part of this show. I didn't even know how you can get there. Like I didn't even think it was a possibility. I thought it was just hey, this is something we're doing amongst friends, and hope it's there for your entertainment.
Right.
One person that I saw going back was Kevin Smets, which I know you don't know who he is, but he was a fan that was turned down by the commissioner at the time, or the creator of this, Christian Harloff. And Harloff told him that he just wasn't quite ready yet to come back. And he did so or whatever. And he trained and he whooped practically everybody's ass. and he ended up becoming Rookie of the Year, and he's now he holds the belt right now for the Inner Geekdom Schmoedown, and that was kind of one of the like it was kind of like inspirational. I'm like, man, that guy was literally a fan watching the show, and he knew what he had the chops to do, and he reached out, got turned down, and he didn't, was like, all right, F it, I'm not gonna do it. It was a no, I'm gonna prove to you that I do deserve the spot, So it's just surreal again, because I've been watching Collider. I think I've seen Collider before I even knew what Cena Sports Talk was, man. It's
Miami game.
I'll take it.
Whatever, man. Sorry.
Any final thoughts from you guys before we wrap it up here?
I love it.
That's good beer. No, just congrats again. Keep on doing your thing. Love this show. Hope to see it continue. And we'll be talking throughout the week. We'll be shooting the shit, talking Mets, talking wrestling, talking everything. And tomorrow, Kyle, talking Schmoedown. Tomorrow, Kyle, we have a date to recap this week's events in the tournament.
That's right. Guys, if you're watching this for the first time, it's kind of late, but we had a March Madness tournament in our part of our website. We decided to do the best living working actor alive. Or same thing. It was redundant. Wow. I cleaned that up.
What?
But we started with four. The Elite Eight is ending today. The Final Four will begin on Monday. As of right now, Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep are in the Final Four. They'll be going up against what looks to be so far Denzel Washington and Margot Robbie. Don't want to jump the gun yet, but it looks like that's who's coming in there. So be ready. Go vote.
Margot.
That's
Margot.
right.
Margot.
That's what I'm going for, man.
She's my girl.
Are you allowed to, based on your shirt that you wore? Can you do that?
Oh yeah, no, I could definitely do that.
That's your heel turn. Your heel turn is on Meryl Streep.
Doesn't make me feel like Margot Robbie.
Oh boy, Dan, the Stugotz are strong in you right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Where can they find you guys, Steve? Where can they find you?
They can find me all over the place. It's all at Cine Sports Talk. Everywhere you go. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. I don't want you sending me any friends requests. I get like 10 friends requests a day.
So?
And I scroll through and I see, if there's one thing I don't like in there, you're done. And if you're friends with Dan Skip Allen, you're out.
You're out. Automatic. That's messed up, man. That's messed up.
If you want to find Steve, you can also go to the back of a Long John Silver's on a Saturday night behind the dumpster. He's usually there. Jader, where can they find you?
That was that one time, Kyle. Never live it down.
You can find me at home. Can't go anywhere. No, I'm just kidding. Facebook, obviously, Jader, Jader, Paramo, Paramo. Infamous J13 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm trying to be better in the Twitter world. Not very successful on that, but constantly on Facebook. Message me, say what's up. I'm usually very, very, very bored, and I can talk to the wall. So talk to you.
And you can find me at Kyle Movie Guy on Twitter, and my name Kyle Arango on Facebook, on Instagram, and then on all my work on Cine Sports Talk. Go back and check out my celebrity interviews. Frozen 2 is on there. I interviewed Josh Gad, so you can go watch that. And the top 10 articles are coming out, movie reviews, and even though there's not a lot of movies coming out right now, still go find something to do. You can find me online, and that's it for the first episode of the Jader and Kyle show. I hope you guys tune in next week to see us, and goodbye.
See you later.
Peace.